How many times can a man fail before he gives up? Once? Twice? What if it was 10 times? Abraham Lincoln lost more than he won. Yet he became one of the greatest leaders in history. How? Let's find out. The unbreakable will of Abraham Lincoln. Failure. Defeat. Loss. These are words no leader wants to hear. But what if I told you that one of the greatest presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln, faced failure after failure before he changed the world? This is the story of a man who refused to give up, a man who turned his struggles into history. This is the unbreakable will of Abraham Lincoln. A Childhood of Hardship. The year was 1809. In a small log cabin in the backwoods of Kentucky, a boy named Abraham Lincoln was born into poverty. His parents, farmers struggling to survive, could barely afford an education for him. But young Abraham had something more valuable than money: curiosity and determination. Despite attending school for less than a year in total, Lincoln taught himself to read by candlelight, devouring every book he could find. But just as he started learning, life hit him hard. At the age of 9, his mother passed away, a devastating loss for any child. But Lincoln kept going. Failure after failure. As he grew older, Lincoln dreamed of making a difference. But success didn't come easily. In 1832, he ran for the Illinois state legislature and lost. He started a business, only for it to fail, leaving him in crippling debt. Then, in 1835, heartbreak struck again. His first love, Anne Rutledge, passed away. Depression followed. Many would have given up, but not Lincoln. He kept pushing forward, running for office again in 1838, only to lose. In 1843, another election, defeat. Even in his personal life, struggles continued. He proposed to the woman he loved, Mary Todd, and was rejected the first time. He eventually married her, but their life was full of hardship. The turning point. Then, in 1858, Lincoln ran for the U.S. Senate. He faced off against Stephen Douglas in a series of debates that would become legendary, but once again, he lost. Yet something had changed. People had started noticing him, his powerful words, his vision for America, and his relentless spirit. 2 years later, in 1860, he did the impossible. Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th President of the United States, but his challenges were far from over. The nation was on the brink of civil war. The country was divided, and Lincoln had to lead through one of the darkest times in American history: the Civil War. Legacy beyond death. Through war, political pressure, and personal tragedy, including the loss of his own son, Lincoln remained steadfast. And in 1863, he made history with the Emancipation Proclamation, a bold step toward ending slavery. The war was brutal, but Lincoln never wavered. Then, on April 14, 1865, just days after winning the Civil War, Lincoln was assassinated. But his death was not the end of his story. His legacy lived on. He had changed the course of history. The boy who grew up in poverty became the man who freed millions. The man who faced failure after failure became one of the greatest leaders of all time. A lesson for all. Lincoln's life teaches us one thing: failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. He lost elections. He faced personal tragedies. But he never let defeat define him. He kept going. And because of that, history remembers his name. So the next time you face failure, remember Abraham Lincoln. Remember that setbacks don't mean the end of the road. They might just be the beginning of your greatest success. If you enjoyed this story and want more inspiring tales, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, keep pushing forward.